welcome to this first video of Brainoholics. Today I'm gonna cover a topic that is very important for the scientific community. A lot of people talk about citations, publications, H-Index, and there is a lot of confusion about that, why it's important, and so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this a little bit today. Citations is a metric that talks about quality when it comes to research productivity. When we talk research productivity, we're talking about mostly journal publications, conference publications, sometimes book publications, and so on. There's so many different publication venues. Nowadays, we don't measure the output and the research productivity by the quantity of how many publications you are getting out there, but rather by the quality. At one point in time, the quality was measured as to where you are releasing your information, whether you're releasing them in what we call premium journals or a so-so journal, and it was debatable. However, nowadays it's not really as important where you publish your scientific work and your scientific production, but rather how much your scientific productions gets cited. So the first thing is I would like to point you to is scholar.google.com. You can see the link on the screen. Scholar.google.com. Over there you can search for an author. For example, I'm going to go ahead and put myself out there. So we're going to search for Rami Harrick, and you will see how many citations Rami Harrick has and how many of his work actually gets referenced and published and so on. This is very important because this proves an impartial metric on how much it is actually important to do quality work that eventually gets cited. And this removes a little bit some of the pressure on mass production of not so, the quality of the scientific work wouldn't be so much, it would be debatable, let's put it this way. So now when it comes to citations, that's the first metric, is the overall citations. There is a lot of argument on how much should be a citation. You should have, if you are a doctoral student graduating, you should have between 20 and 50. That's a metric. A lot of people think about this metric. There's a lot of other people that say no, a doctoral student should not have any citations, they're just starting the work, and so on and so on. It really depends. A lot of people start splitting the levels of assistant professor, associate professor, and full professor, saying a full professor should have 1,500 citations and above, and certain metrics. We're not going to delve into that because this is not what's really important, but rather we want to explain that nowadays the scientific world judges you based on citations as well as the H-index. So now that we first of all covered what is citations, which is how many people are actually referencing your work. So your total citation would be the total scientific production. Each one of them has been cited 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 60 times. We add up those citation numbers and you end up with the total number. For example, you would have 800 citations, which is the sum of all of your research production, each one how much was it cited, and we sum them up and we get this total number. Now there is another metric as well that is very important, which is the H-index. This other metric actually talks about how many citations got the same, how many publications got the same number of citations. For example, an H-index of 7 means at least 7 of your publications, of your journal papers or of your conferences has been at least cited 7 times. So it is where the point meets between number of citations per journal and the number of publications. So an example, an H-index of 20 means you have at least 20 scientific papers with 20 citations. An H-index of 100, which there is only like 3,000 people in the world who have higher than that, means you have at least 100 publications. Each of them has at least 100 citations. Now this is very, very important metric, and it is becoming somewhat the standard where people are looking, hey, you want to become a professor, you have to have an H-index of 15 and above, and so on and so on. So in summary, we covered 2 things, and you can check these 2 things. The most common place is scholar.google.com, and you can check these 2 things. The first one is citations, which is the total number of how many times your scientific production was cited. And the second one is the H-index, which is how many publications you have that has the equal number of citations. We're looking into this diagonal to where they meet. Thank you very much for following this first video. We're going to be covering more and more videos in Brainoholics. This is a new venture that I'm kickstarting, and please let me know in the comments what topics you would like me to cover. I will start covering them little by little as we move on. Thank you so much, and goodbye.